You believe you would recognize a married man immediately, that there will always be a ring, a story about his wife, or at least a visible sign. But the reality is far more complex and far more dangerous. Many men learn to hide the truth, not because they forgot their vows, but because they are running from themselves. What they conceal is not only a wife or a family, but also their own emptiness. Their silence is a mask, and their charm is a distraction. For a woman, meeting such a man is not just an encounter with deception. It is an encounter with the unconscious. Jung said that what is not brought to consciousness comes to us as fate. That is why a married man who hides his reality often feels magnetic. He awakens a part of you that is both curious and unsettled. You feel seen, yet you also feel something. Missing the attraction is strong because the unconscious is involved. What he suppresses in his marriage, he projects onto you, and what you suppress in yourself, you may project onto him. It is a dance of shadows, and the danger is not only in his lies but in your willingness to believe them. Because, when we want something to be true, we ignore the signs that show us otherwise, but signs never disappear. They whisper through his actions, his rhythms, his silences. Once you recognize them, you cannot pretend anymore. Here are the first 3. Sign 1. He protects his phone like a secret diary. Watch his hands, not just his words. His phone is never casually placed on the table face up. It is always in his pocket, turned upside down, or shielded from view. He checks it with quick glances, like someone guarding a secret. When it rings, he answers in another room or lowers his voice. When a message appears, he angles the screen away from you. At first, you may think this is normal. Everyone values privacy, but over time, the pattern becomes clear. His phone is not a tool, it is a fortress, a place where his two lives collide. In that small device lies his marriage, his home, his vows, and he knows that one wrong notification could shatter the illusion he has built with you. Notice how his energy changes when the phone vibrates. His body stiffens, his eyes dart, his tone shifts. Sometimes he silences it quickly, other times he invents a rushed excuse to explain why he cannot answer. It is not the action itself, but the anxiety. Beneath it, married men live with the fear of exposure, and their phone is the battlefield, where secrets are both stored and threatened. Jung observed that the unconscious often reveals itself in small behaviors. What a man tries to hide with words is betrayed by gestures. His guarded phone is not just technology. It is the symbolic diary of a life he cannot share with you, and your intuition knows this. Even before your mind accepts the truth, your body feels the tension. You sense the weight of a story you were never invited into. To ignore this sign is to step into the role of accomplice, silently agreeing to live in the shadows. But to acknowledge it is to reclaim your clarity, because a love that must be hidden through screens and passwords is not love. It is a cage. Sign 2. His availability never matches his words. He tells you that you are important, yet his presence never matches his declarations. He says he misses you, but weekends are always untouchable. He promises you time, but disappears. On holidays, his schedule bends in strange patterns, as if his life has 2 layers, one visible and one hidden. You notice that he often calls during work breaks, as if those are the only windows where he can be free. Messages arrive in the middle of the day, but by evening he fades. Nights are filled with excuses. Weekends are blocked by obligations he cannot name. He may sound convincing, but repetition creates truth, and the truth is that his rhythm mirrors a man tied to another life. This is not the busyness of ambition or responsibility. This is the busyness of division. He is split between 2 worlds, and you are always in the secondary one. When his absence repeats like a ritual, you realize it is not circumstance, it is design. And here lies the deeper pain. His intensity when he is with you can make you believe he is free in spirit. He may shower you with affection, speak with passion, and look into your eyes as if you are his only reality. But when the moment ends, so does his access. The intensity was not proof of commitment, it was proof of escape. You became the place he runs to when the other life grows heavy. Jung taught that projection often blinds us to contradiction. We project our longing for consistency onto a man who cannot offer it. We mistake irregular affection for rare devotion, but devotion is not measured by bursts of passion. It is measured by reliability. His availability, or the lack of it, betrays him more than his words ever could. Because while he can choose what he tells you, he cannot hide where he belongs. His calendar exposes him. His silence on holidays exposes him. And the way you feel left behind on the days that matter most exposes him even more. To keep believing him is to silence your own knowing. To see the truth is to admit that his presence is not love. It is borrowed time. Sign 3. He avoids introducing you to his world. Love longs to be shared. A man who is free desires to weave you into his world. He wants to show you off, to introduce you to his friends, to let his family know he has found someone who matters. When a man loves without chains, his love expands. It seeks witnesses, but with him, everything feels contained. The relationship lives in the shadows, in quiet places where eyes cannot follow. Meetings happen in hidden corners, late nights, or distant spaces where no one familiar will see. His words about keeping things private may sound noble, but privacy and secrecy are not the same. Privacy protects intimacy. Secrecy protects deception. Notice how he never speaks about merging lives. There are no plans for shared holidays, no talk of meeting parents or friends, no gestures that connect you to his roots. When you ask about his world, his answers remain vague, shifting, unfinished. When someone he knows appears unexpectedly, his body stiffens, his tone changes, his eyes search for escape. This is not the fear of being judged. This is the fear of being exposed. He is not protecting you. He is protecting his mask. He knows that once you enter his world, his two lives cannot remain separate, so he keeps you at a distance, in a place where you exist only in the shadows. And the most painful part is that this distance makes you doubt yourself. You wonder if you are not enough, if you should wait longer, if he just needs time. But deep down, you know the truth. A man who is free does not hide. A man who is proud does not silence. A man who wants you in his life will make space for you in his world. Jung wrote that the inner feminine image in a man, often surfaces in relationships outside of marriage. When a man projects his anima onto another woman, he feels alive again, but he cannot integrate that into his real life, because it would destroy the structure he refuses to leave. So he keeps the anima hidden. He keeps you hidden. This is not love that grows. This is love that suffers. Because while he may tell you that you matter, the truth is written in the absence of integration, and no amount of passion can replace belonging. These are only the first 3 signs, and already they create a painful map. Secrecy in his phone, absence in his availability, and distance in his world. Each one is a thread, and when woven together, they reveal the fabric of a hidden marriage. But the shadow goes deeper. In the next part, we will enter the contradictions that betray him further, the sudden bursts of affection that only exist in secrecy, the intuition you cannot silence, and the promises of a future that never arrives. Because once you recognize all 7 signs, you will understand the truth. He was never fully yours, and the choice you face is not about him, but about whether you will continue to live in someone else's lie, or finally choose to live in your own truth. Before we continue, if you have ever felt trapped in repeating patterns of love, the Jung method can help. It reveals the unconscious dynamics behind forbidden desire and shows you how to reclaim your power. The link is pinned in the first comment. SIGN 4. His stories have gaps. He can't listen carefully when he speaks about his life. Married men who hide their status become experts in telling half-truths. They mention details, but not the whole picture. They tell you about work, but rarely about home. They speak of their day, but avoid the nights. And when you ask for specifics, their stories shift like sand. You may notice contradictions. The way he said he was traveling for work, but later described a weekend that sounded strangely domestic. The way he claims to live alone, yet avoids inviting you to his place. The way his memories seem rehearsed, as if built to keep you satisfied but not suspicious. It is not the lies themselves that betray him. It is the hesitation between them. His pauses, his nervous laughter, the way he redirects the conversation. When you ask too many questions, a man living one life can speak freely. A man living two must constantly edit himself. And what does that do to you? It makes you doubt your own intuition. You sense the gaps, but you silence yourself because you want to believe. You tell yourself not to be paranoid, not to ruin the moment. Yet the gaps are not in your imagination. They are the cracks of a double life. Jung believed that truth emerges in symbols and slips of the tongue. A man who hides a marriage may control his narrative, but his unconscious leaks through his inconsistencies. The gaps in his stories are not accidents, they are signals. They are the places where the truth is trying to break free. Sign 5. His affection comes in intense but hidden bursts with him. Passion feels overwhelming. His kisses are urgent. His touch is consuming. His eyes burn with desire. In those moments, you feel as if you are the only person in his world. But notice when and how this affection appears, always in hidden spaces, always in private encounters, always in places where his other life cannot see. His intensity is not proof of his freedom, it is proof of his confinement. He loves you fiercely because he loves you secretly. His marriage suppresses him, and you become the outlet where he can release what has been locked away. This is why his affection feels so powerful. It is not only about you, it is about the shadow side of him that cannot exist anywhere else. The danger is that intensity can feel like devotion, but devotion is not measured in hidden bursts. Devotion is measured in steady presence. Married men often give intensity to compensate for their absence. They pour fire into moments they can control, but disappear when the world requires integration. Jung wrote that the shadow, once denied, seeks expression in hidden ways. His marriage forces him to repress his desire. You become the stage where that shadow plays. And while it may feel intoxicating, it is also isolating, because no matter how strong his passion burns, it cannot walk beside you in the daylight. This kind of affection leaves you both full and empty. Full in the moment, empty when he leaves. Full of fire, empty of certainty. It is a cycle that keeps you longing for the next hidden burst, while quietly eroding your sense of worth. Sign 6. You feel the presence of another woman without proof. There is a moment when logic ends and intuition speaks. You may not see a ring, you may not hear her name, but you feel her presence, in the way his energy shifts, in the way he disappears, in the way small details never add up. Women have always carried an intuitive knowing. You sense the other woman not because he tells you, but because your body knows. The hesitation in his words, the silence at certain times, the invisible weight he carries. It is not imagination, it is perception. And here is the paradox. He may never speak of her, but she is always there. In the way he protects his phone, in the way he avoids his world colliding with yours, in the way he offers you passion in secret but not belonging in public. She is the invisible presence shaping every boundary between you. Jung described the anima and animus as powerful archetypes that live within us. A married man who hides his wife is still bound by her presence. Even if he denies her, even if he pretends she does not exist, she remains the silent axis around which his life revolves. And when you are with him, you feel that axis, you feel her shadow. To deny your intuition is to betray yourself, because your intuition is not paranoia. It is your unconscious reading the signals his conscious tries to hide. It is your body telling you the truth before your mind dares to speak it. Sign 7. He talks about the future without anchoring it. In reality, perhaps the most seductive sign is his talk of the future. He tells you that one day things will change, that one day he will be free, that one day the two of you will live openly, without lies or fear. His words create hope, and hope is addictive. But notice how vague the future always is. He speaks of someday, but never of when. He promises change, but never sets action. His vision floats like a dream, just close enough to keep you waiting, just far enough to never arrive. This is not a future. This is a fantasy. And fantasies are how married men keep women bound in silence. As long as you believe tomorrow will be different, you tolerate today. As long as you wait for his promise, you stay in the shadows. Jung said that projection binds us to illusions. When you believe his promises, you are not only believing him, you are projecting your own longing for love, stability, and recognition onto a man who cannot give them. You are hoping his dream will become your reality, when in truth his reality is already taken. A free man grounds his future in action. A bound man keeps his future in words, and words, without change, are only chains. Conclusion. The shadow of his marriage and the light of your choice. Now you have seen all 7 signs: the guarded phone, the broken availability, the hidden world, the gaps in his stories, the secret bursts of passion, the presence of another woman you can feel but cannot see, the vague promises of a future that never arrives. Each sign is a piece of the puzzle, and together they reveal the truth. He is married, and he is hiding it, not because you are not worthy, but because he is not free. The question now is not about him, it is about you. What will you choose? To live in someone else's shadow, or to reclaim your own light, to keep waiting for promises that dissolve, or to walk toward a life where love does not have to hide. Carl Jung taught that the unconscious becomes destiny until it is made conscious. This is your moment of consciousness, to see the signs, to face the truth, and to choose a path that honors your soul, because in the end, the most powerful love is not the one that hides in secrecy. It is the love that walks beside you in the open, unafraid of being seen, and that begins not with him, but with you.